So, quick tutorial on how to take images from your PowerPoint based on your design and then import them into Sketchbook app. So here I'm looking at the typography that we've got in the Stranger Things PowerPoint. I am screenshotting the font that I want and I am saving it to my photos, so that is now stored on my camera roll. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Sketchbook and I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to import it from my photos. So there's my Stranger Things that I saved to my camera roll there. I'm now going to look for a background image as well. So I'm selecting one of my development pieces. I'm going to crop the image, so I just get one of the development images in that I want to use. So I'm going to use this one with the character from the Stranger Things. I'm going to save this to my camera roll as I did with the font. And now I'm going to go to Sketchbook and I am going to go to my camera roll and first of all insert the background image. I can play about with it. I'm moving it with my fingers just to get the correct positioning. I'm just going to put in half of the image. I don't want the full image in. I'm going to press a little tick at the top when I've got that correct. I'm now going to tap the plus button to create a second layer. I'm now going to add in from import image from my camera roll. There's the Stranger Things lettering. When you first import it in, you have the flexibility to move it around. So I'm moving it around roughly to see where I want to position it. You can go back and reposition it later if you wish. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the tools and go to the paint pot. I've selected the paint pot and I've now selected the transparency tool. So I've tapped on the white background and that has created the transparent background. I'm now just going to go in and tap these white sections so they become transparent. And I can see the poster design coming through from behind there. So I've gotten rid of that big white rectangular section. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to rub out these little lines. Do you see these little lines that have just been left behind where the white banner shape was removed from? So I'm just going to take the rubber tool, which is the little tool at the bottom left there with the checkered background, and I'm now just going to rub out these little white lines using the transparency colour. So again I am removing them, and rather than leaving a white mark, it is removing them to show the layer underneath. You can play about with the colour of the lettering, so if the colour of the lettering is not suitable, you can choose another colour, so you can play with that on the colour wheel at the top. I have selected a different colour. I'm going to press the paint pot and I'm going to pour the colour into my lettering by tapping on the black lettering. So tap on it and there my yellow paint that I have selected is now being poured in to each section that I tap on. You'll notice that there is a sort of sun shape next to the tick. If I want to change the amount of paint being poured in, you can tap on that and you can reduce the amount of paint poured in if you feel that it is overspilling into other areas. You can create transparent lettering. So I have now selected the transparency colour and I am tapping on the yellow sections and making those transparent. So depending on the style of lettering, this could be something that could look quite effective on your poster design. For this one, it's not quite suitable because the white outline isn't probably thick enough and it kind of gets lost in the design. You can try out another colour, so you can do this as many times as you want, and again I've selected on the colour wheel, then I'm using the little paint pot to pour into the letters the colour that I have selected. Now, just for this purpose, I'm just going to stick with this red lettering, and what I'm going to do next is I am going to save this image to my gallery. So if you go up to the top left corner and select Save to Gallery, there it's in my gallery. Now I'm going to go to this bottom right corner and I'm going to select Duplicate to Gallery. Now I have two that are exactly the same, but not only do I have two that are the same, the layers are also there as well. So what I can now do is I can go back to that one that I was just working on and I can play around with the placement of lettering. And I can see by picking this transitions button, I can now move that layer about and place it in a different part of the image. And that saves me from having to go right back to the beginning, uploading the Stranger Things font from my camera roll. I can just take it straight from this other picture and I can play around with the size and placing of it. A really useful tool. Okay, I'm going to save this to my gallery as well. So I now have two that it's the same image, but the font size is different and the placing of the font. I'm now going to show you how I can take a third image, and I'm going back to my original. I've selected the Stranger Things on my layer and I've just copied it. You go up to the top left here and press copy. So I've now copied it, and what I'm going to do is go back to my gallery and I'm going to go to my new poster design, this one here. I'm going to select this and I'm going to create a layer, press on the page, press on the plus button, create a new layer, and I'm now going to press on my new layer, and not that one. I'm going to press on my new layer like so. And I am going to go up to paste because I'm going to paste in the font that I've just had on my last one, and there it is. And again, you can move that around anywhere you want using these tools at the top. If you're happy with it as it is, you can just simply press the tick button. And then you can go back and you can change the colour of the lettering once you have got it in the position that you want it in. There's another couple of tricks that you can use, and that is when you go to the layers at the side. So in order to get the layers at the side, all you need to do is to tap on the pile of paper. I'm going to tap on the Stranger Things, and this is the opacity button that I'm sliding along here. And when you change the opacity like this, it changes how well or not so well you can see the image. So I'm currently working on the background and I've just taken it back a little bit, the opacity, so it's not jumping out. And there you have 3 different designs done very quickly using the same font.